Hey, what's up? I hope you're having a blessed day. Um, so yesterday I went to um the dentist because my teeth kind of let them go from years of depression and not really caring about myself too much. And you know, I isolated myself for so long that I feel like an alien when I'm out in public. Like, it's just uh I don't think most people have had the isolation that I've had where I've just spent years upon years upon years upon years not really leaving the house. And it was like uh agoraphobia, which is the fear of leaving your house, and also like severe social anxiety. So with all these years of isolation, whenever I go out in the public, I just feel like an alien. It feels like it pretty much is. It's like I'm an alien that landed on the planet for the first time, because I'm not used to being outside and social situations and stuff. So it just feels super awkward. And so yeah, it felt super awkward to go out, but I'm trying to work on um, you know, trying to get the strength and the courage to just live my life. And God is helping me with that. And if there are people, if you have social anxiety, I understand. I was thinking about it, and I think social anxiety might be because I have a theory that it's people that are super sensitive to energy, and you feel this energy so strongly. You're super sensitive, and so you feel this energy from other people, and it's all sorts of things. And I think it kind of like can overwhelm your nervous system, can overwhelm your senses, it can overwhelm your just, it's too much. I also think I may be like neurodivergent or autism or something with like that as well, with like um just being kind of like overwhelmed a little bit. But these are identities which I'm trying to get rid of, but I'm using them to explain the predicament I find myself in at the moment. But yeah, anyways, so like I think social anxiety, you're kind of like picking up on other people's energies. And since you're so sensitive to energy, it kind of like overwhelms you. And you can kind of feel it's like it's like an awkwardness, It's like you kind of feel like what people are putting out, and you take it on as your own feelings without knowing. And then you kind of like you feel that, and then you get like, you just kind of feel like out of place, and then your body doesn't feel safe because of all the energies that are coming at you, and it kind of like overwhelms your nervous system, which causes you to like enter fight or flight, or to think too much, overthink what you're going to say. You kind of get where you're worried about what other people think about you, and then you're feeling you may feel energy projections from them, or them reflecting something within themselves that they haven't looked at. They reflect it onto you. And since you're sensitive to energy, you take it on as yourself, as an identity. And then like kind of over time, this you form an identity saying, I'm not good around people, or I don't like to be around people. And then you kind of just like you try to find coping mechanisms, which is isolation. So you isolate yourself. And then if you're in an extreme case like me, it can get so bad that you just don't even really live your life, and it's painful. It hurts to not feel like you fit in. um So yeah, I understand, like, but I think that's where like the root of it comes from. Is I think it is I think it's sensitive to energy. You probably have, um, heightened empathy. Um, you probably have an ability to tap into more psychic type of abilities, and um, you just it overwhelms your system, and yeah, so we find coping mechanisms and at least isolation because it becomes too much, and you're just like, I like to be by myself better. I'm better off alone, by myself. And then you're taking on the projections. You're like, no one likes me. I'm awkward. And then you put the identity on yourself and tell yourself that you're awkward and you have social anxiety. And then it becomes like a feedback loop. And yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, I think it's also perhaps there's a frequency difference in your frequencies with other people. And since you don't operate on the normal frequency, you kind of feel like an outcast, and the world kind of like reinforces these beliefs that you form in yourself, saying like people don't like me, people don't accept me, um, I'm weird, I'm awkward, and then the world kind of reflects that back to you. But it starts, I think, with you either being on a higher frequency. And these are all theories of mine. I don't know for sure, but you're either on a higher frequency or you're like you have a lot of like light in light inside of you. Like you're kind of like you're kind of like put here by God, and then you're put here to shine your light. And since your light is so bright and you're sensitive to energy and frequencies and stuff, people like get scared of that, I think, in some way, or their shadows um get triggered, or their inner soul gets like triggered by your light, and then they kind of like project their um they kind of like project their feelings onto you, with you triggering something within them. And so it kind of reinforces like the idea that you're awkward or you're a social outcast or whatever, and it all kind of like plays into each other. But I think like the light has a huge part to do with it as well. It's like it's kind of like you're sent here, you're kind of here on a mission by God to for something bigger, I think. And you're sensitive to frequencies and energy. I mean, I think everyone can develop this ability. Everyone can. Their soul can evolve. But I think maybe perhaps people with social anxiety and stuff, since maybe they have like a higher empathy or like more light in their soul, and so when they come here, the world the world's like, nope, you need to shut that shit down. And so the world kind of like tries to beat you down, or it does beat you down. It does beat you down, let's be real. And so yeah, i I don't know. I think it's a really hard thing to deal with if you don't know where to start, like doing the inner work, and you think something's wrong with you, and then it's like hard to figure out where to start. That's where I was at. Like, I just kind of gave up on life. Dealing with everything in life that I've dealt with, I just gave up for a long time, and now I'm trying to like get back out into society, and I just feel super awkward, and it's hard to face. Like, basically I went into like I went into like a hermit mode, monk mode. I was just like, shut the world out. And it's like I went into like a hyperbolic time chamber, and I just like got frozen in time, and then I'm stepping out now, and it's just like I don't know how society works. I don't know how to do stuff. I don't really. I'm kind of like I'm like I don't know, just like I don't have experience with stuff, and it's just super awkward. It feels like sometimes it feels like I'm just like some like I don't feel my age because of the lack of experience and stuff like that. And I know there's other people out there because I've been on like social anxiety forums and like reading what other people feel, and they feel like they can't function in society, and they just kind of feel like they feel young inside of their body, and I can relate with that. It's I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm trusting in God that, you know, he'll help me with through it. Um but yeah, so like going out going out in public, it's I'm trying to get better at it, but it's challenging for me. And I know that's like it is it's it's a mental thing. It's I don't believe it's a there's nothing wrong with you if you feel this way. Um I know we like to think that there's something wrong with us because we don't fit into the normal society, or we just feel like outcasts or whatever. But I don't believe there's anything wrong with us. I do think it is sensitivity to energy and frequencies and stuff like that. And usually, I think it's because a lot of us are like neurodivergent, or may have autism, or like it's just like our brains kind of work differently than what's normal. I think that has a lot to do with it as well. Like picking up on social cues and stuff like that. Um, or like I think having like a very rough childhood, or like trauma that kind of like it it trauma it kind of like scars your soul in a way, because it's like pieces of you get left behind. Um, it's like your soul gets fractured in time, in a sense. Like you leave these pieces of yourself behind, and they kind of like get frozen because of the trauma, and then that trauma gets like stuck in your body, and it's like this process of doing the shadow work and like going within yourself. And a lot of the time these parts just need love, and they need acceptance, and they need they just need they need like a reframing of the events that happen. It needs time to process, like spending time with yourself. And then like when you integrate these parts of you, it's like you're integrating, like when you come to acceptance and love, and you accept what happened, like parts of your past, it kind of like it's like integrating parts of your soul. Sorry, I'm looking at the camera. uh yeah, it's fine. I say like the camera angle is kind of weird, but whatever. um Also, I'm trying to be I'm always so like tense and rigid, and like I feel like a robot or something. Just kind of like just need to relax and be myself. Um, Being yourself is huge. That's another part of it. Like when you accept these parts of yourself and love yourself, you become more comfortable being yourself. It's like awkwardness. I'm awkward. You know, I don't want to place the identity upon myself, but to describe myself, I am, yes, I can be a little awkward. And but like yeah, so you integrate these parts of yourself, and then it's like once you accept and love these parts, you kind of like gain pieces of yourself back, and you let more light in and you let God in because God is within all of us. And, we think there's these things wrong with us, and it's really not. It's, um, it's the conditioning that the world does to us. Like I said, the trauma, and then that trauma gets stuck in your body, and you kind of like fragment parts of your soul into the past, and you're always worried and you're thinking about what's going to happen, or thinking about the past, and you get stuck in like these loops, and it just kind of all plays into all these factors that you get lost, and then it's hard to come back and really love yourself because you put yourself down so much. And you know um the one thing I've learned since I've been like healing myself and coming back to myself is that God loves you so much, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just like I said, the conditioning of the world, and the world is a brutal place. uh People can be very cruel, and things all these things happen, but they do happen for a reason. It's for our souls to grow. um because through these experiences we learn a lot about ourselves, and it's happening for a reason. But we have to go within ourselves and look at these things, and then once we look at them and accept them, then we gain the wisdom from it, and we enter more like love enters into us. We feel more connected to God, and it's raising your consciousness and your awareness and your soul's ability to raise its frequency. And then when you raise your frequency, you raise your consciousness, and then you feel more connected to God. And then when you're more connected to God, you feel more connected to love, and then you love yourself more, and it just kind of like feeds into itself. But it's like the getting started on it all is it's a hard thing to do because the world is full of distractions. uh yeah, I basically like lived my life on the internet, on my computer. That was, it's like, instead of living in the reality, I I didn't like to be out around people, so I formed my life kind of like virtually, and I kind of like lived my life, because that allows you to like live your life through the internet, and you can see stuff and you can do stuff, but you don't have to necessarily um deal with other people, and that's like a huge coping mechanism. And that was something I did, and it feels like, I know it feels like it feels like you wasted so many years, and time's like against you. But um time is time is like, we think of time as linearly. I can never say that. Linearly. Linear. We think of time as linear. um but and then we think we're running out of time, but it's honestly never too late, because like you're learning, your soul is learning through all of this, and god God exists outside of time, right? Time is a construct in our minds, and God exists outside of time. Um, so it's like it's never too late. If you feel like it's too late, he can, God can bless you and give you the life you want. Um, I know a lot of people like myself. It's like, why even try if I wasted so many years? Why even try now? Like, things are never gonna get better, but they can get better, and I want to be that encouragement. I'm not saying my life has magically changed yet, but like when you ascend your consciousness, you kind of like look at things differently. It's like the difference between 3D, 4D, and 5D. It depends um what your awareness is perceiving, but um honestly, like God is God is amazing and wants to give us a great life, and it's never too late to change your life around. Like I'm super late to, some of us are late bloomers, I think. I'm just like super late to giving life a shot and trying to experience things and do things, and um it's just about don't give up on yourself, you know. You just have to be patient with yourself, and like things can turn around at any moment. Like I've been feeling like I used to never be able to um really leave the house, or I didn't really like to go outside, but I'm leaving the house more now, and I feel, since I have integrated a lot of my shadow aspects, I feel more comfortable with myself. I'm still trying to like be myself more, kind of like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm kind of like, like stiff and um tension in my body and stuff. I'm trying to like just be more relaxed and feel at ease, and yeah, it's a process for sure. That's another thing though, is to just be yourself. Like honestly, I mean, I know this is gonna sound like I'm just saying that it's like it seems like some cop out or some easy solution, but it's just like be yourself. Like who freaking cares, honestly? I know it's I know having from my pat looking back at myself is like, well, that doesn't help me. But now when I say it, it's like, who cares what other people think about you? Like you just have to become comfortable with I think it's about like grounding your nervous system was a huge part. I'm still working on that. I think I have uh like again, I don't want to put labels on myself because or identities like that, because it's like it's limiting yourself when you identify with negative things. So I'm just using these to describe it. I think I have like CPTSD, which is like complex post traumatic stress disorder. Um, I think a lot of people may relate with that. But it's like you kind of like disassociate a lot. I used to disassociate a lot. I was always kind of never really grounded in my body because it felt unsafe. I think that's another thing is um like not feeling safe in your body, like grounding your nervous system. That's a lot of work I've been trying to do, is grounding my nervous system, feeling safe. And I think a lot of it has to do with shadow work. Shadow work has helped a lot. And then, things like going outside. For a long time I would just never even see the sun. It's weird, I know. I like my life has not been normal, but that's okay. I accept it. But like getting outside and you know, getting some sun, spending time in nature. Nature is really grounding. I feel like if you're using screens a lot, um it's like screens and like phones and stuff are kind of like they have this hypnotic effect where like you kind of like you do disassociate more if you're always staring at a screen, because you're kind of like you're projecting your energy um like outside of yourself, like always looking at something outside of yourself, so your energy is going outside of yourself. and you kind of lose sense of your body and being grounded in your energy. And so you're kind of, you become disassociated because you're always looking outside of yourself. And screens have this kind of like hypnotic effect, I've noticed. Maybe it's something with the the like the lighting or the like strobing of the screen or something, but like it is easy to like, it's kind of like, at least for me, I don't know if it's for everyone, but like kind of like you feel out of your, you don't feel grounded if you stare at screens, if you're always staring at screens. And that was me for a long time. Uh, so it's no wonder I was like super disassociated and not grounded, and then all this stuff. So I don't know why. I don't know the purpose of this video. I'm just talking about struggles I'm dealing with, and it's like whatever. Like I'm putting myself out there. I used to never be able to like talk to people. I used to be super shy and um, always to myself and stuff. I never really talked in my life. I didn't talk a lot, you know. I had things to say, but I was like too scared to say them, or I just kind of like shut down. I'm sure a lot of people can relate with that. Um, Having like issues talking to people or being social, or but like now I'm just kind of like, whatever. Like people will judge you. You could be like a perfect person, you know. You could be perfect like Jesus, and you know, even if you were silent, they'll still carve sin out of your silence. They'll have something to say about you. They'll have projections in their mind. They'll like it's That's the thing. Like learning to not care is realizing that no matter what you do, there's always going to be someone who's not going to like you, or they're going to think something negatively about you, but that doesn't reflect who you are or your character, or it's has nothing to do with you. It's all within them, and then they project it onto you. And we take these projections as something wrong with us. We take them on as our identity, you know, like I'm just weird, people don't like me, but it's just like that's them judging you. And like I'm saying, if even if you were a perfect person, there will still be people that would, you know, they would think you're the worst, or they would project things onto you and think you're this or that. And it's like, who cares what other people think? That's kind of like I don't know, it's not in like like who cares, I hate people, or it's like it's just like there's always going to be that, you know, there's always going to be other people who think stuff about you, but like what I'm trying to say is try not to let it affect your life. Like try not to let it feel like you can't be yourself, or you have to act a certain way, or like don't let it stop you from going out and doing the things you want and living your life. And because I do, I feel like I used to care a lot about what people would think about me in public. Like I'd always be like kind of looking around, observing, because I'm very observant. I was always kind of like observing people growing up, looking around and not really saying much, but I was taking in everything. Um, but like, so when you're out in public, you kind of like you get hyper vigilant about, are people looking at me? What are they thinking about me? Are they staring at me? Things like that. But it's like it has to be, there has to be like a shedding of that. And that comes with like, who cares, right? Like, just, I don't know. It's like I can't say just be yourself and do this and do that. It's not that easy, I know, but like that's the mindset that you can eventually step into, and it's not impossible because like I said, I used to I had extreme social anxiety, and I do think it is something that can be uh something that can be healed. And you know, it's it's a lot to do with um it's a lot to do with your thoughts and what you think about yourself and the things you're telling yourself. And then like I said, um shadow work is huge, and then grounding your nervous system, and then slowly feeling more comfortable in your body, feeling more comfortable being yourself. And then you kind of like, that's when you have to have the courage to, you know, do something different. It's kind of like shaking up your routine. Like if you're always inside, try going outside more, you know? And usually we're more scared about something inside of our heads. We kind of we psych ourselves out in our heads saying all these things, all these thoughts, and um we make it more scary and negative than it actually is, you know? Like if you tell yourself all these negative things inside of your head before you go do something, you're you're kind of like manifesting that in your reality because you're thinking about that. And you know, it's like if you just go in with the the when your mind is cleared of all thoughts and you just kind of go into it, and that takes courage because you kind of have to do it, right? That's the hard part, is doing it. You just do it. But if you go in with like a clear mind, and you kind of settle your mind down, cleared of any thoughts, any preconceptions of what's going to happen, and you do the thing, a lot of the time you'll realize that the thing wasn't actually that bad. You know, it's like, uh, and then once you do it, you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And then you go and you do it some more, and then it becomes a habit, right? It becomes, it becomes something, oh, this isn't that bad. I can do this. But it's um, when you attach emotions and um, like memories from the past, and you project those onto the event, thinking it's going to happen again, or you're thinking thoughts about it, then it becomes a lot harder to actually do the thing, you know? Um, yeah. So like I said, social anxiety, here I am yapping, rambling. I don't know if any of this makes sense. It just feels good to talk about it. I don't care. You know, it's like I just want to be me. I don't want to be like, this matrix tries to put us in boxes. It tries to get us to feel like we can't be ourselves. We can't talk about things we want to talk about. You know, we have to be like everyone else and talk about the same things. And you know, it's like if you have something you want to say, say it. I'm sure there's people that resonate it with it, even if they don't see it, or that they do see it. You know, it's like you're speaking your mind. You're just putting yourself out there, and you know, I think a lot of the matrix kind of just like we conform, and we just like we're all like kind of closed off. And it's like, I don't know, you can just, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. You don't have to be scared to say things. You can be yourself. It's like it's deconditioning. And you know, you just slowly, like all these videos I'm making, like I always start every video, I've noticed I haven't made a video in a while, and it's like it's these videos aren't the greatest, but I'm making them. And then, you know, like over time I'll get better, because it's like what I was talking about earlier, once you do something like, oh, this is bad, I can do this, and then you do it some more, you get better. And that's, you can't get better, or you can't get better at something if you don't start, right? And this is helping me with like expressing myself, because I feel like I have a hard time, at least verbally articulating, my thoughts, and kind of being like, see, like I'm kind of like tense. I need to relax a little bit. Um, but yeah, it kind of like it helps me kind of like get stuff out and get ideas out, and just get more comfortable with talking and putting myself out there, even though, like no one may watch, that's fine. It's like, it's like do things that you love to do, right? Like, who cares about the results? Like, I started I started drawing, making more art, because I've been feeling more creative, because I've allowed I've allowed God, like my connection to God has gotten a lot stronger, and I've kind of gotten rid of the idea of separateness, and we pretty much all are God, just being expressed in different ways. And so yeah, like I used to never be creative. I used to never like make art or do things. So I've been trying new things. I've been writing poetry. I've been doing art, and like it's not the best, but it can be fun. It's like I do it to kind of just chill out and relax my mind, and just kind of go with the flow, and whatever wants to be created is created. I don't really go in thinking too much about it. And it's like, if you just try stuff and just have fun, and don't worry about the expectations of others, or don't put its expectations on yourself, like, you try new things, and you get better and better and better as you do them. And that's not the goal, but it is part of the journey. And that's the fun part. Like, even if you don't get better, like, you're still like, I find that creative, we need to be the reason I've been kind of exploring these different art forms and creative outlets, is because I feel like once you get to a certain level of consciousness or awareness, um heck, even, I guess it wouldn't even matter. Like, I feel like, yeah, you feel more creative once you get like in more connected to God, because God the creator, obviously. But like, even at the lower, like, even if you know, you're struggling a lot, and I feel like art is just like creative creative outlets for your energy are like super good. I feel like if we don't have some sort of creative outlet, our energy kind of gets stagnant. I've noticed that. Like, if I'm not if I don't create something, um, I can kind of get like, I kind of feel off. I don't know how to put it. It's like the energy doesn't have somewhere to go, right? So it's like I've been working on getting this energy out of me, because I'm having a lot more energy flowing through me now. Um, and getting this energy out of me, I feel like creative stuff is really good for that, like art and writing, or, like whatever you want to do. If you want to make videos, if you want to, you know, creative, like sew stuff, or, whatever. It's like, it's good. It's like our soul longs to like create stuff. It feels like we're just like, we're made in the image of God, so we want to create. And it's like, when you're creating stuff, it's like it's like food for the soul. It feels good. And it's not about the what you create. It's just kind of like the process of it. And so I've been trying to like, at least every few days, kind of like sit down. I'm trying to make it a daily thing, but I don't always feel super creative. But it's like, just making it kind of a habit, and then that allows the energy to be channeled into something. It's like you're channeling God, the the infinite energy of God into something creative, and you're co-creating with God in that moment when you're creating, because it's like God and you are in union, and then you're creating something. And that's really cool. Like, um but yeah, I think that, and also physical activity, which let's be real, your boy needs some physical activity. So I've also been trying to um I'm gonna I need to get more structure in my life. I feel like that's something I struggle with. Um and that's like the masculine, right? Structure and, order, and actually doing things in the physical world. Um but yeah, I think I need to start I want to. I don't need to. I want to start working out, and uh just like exerting putting this energy into something and getting it flowing. And I feel like working out is really good because, you get to channel the energy into something. It's been shown it makes a lot of people feel better. You get more, feel good oxytocin, or I don't know if it's oxytocin or endorphins, whatever you get from working out, and then you feel better, and then your health is better, and you get to just kind of have this routine in your life where you're doing something, and it's improving your life overall. So that's something I want to start doing. I do lift. I've started like lifting weights a little bit here and there, but I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just and like, obviously I'm not as strong as everyone else, but it's like a journey, right? And you don't want to compare yourself or think of it as in terms of results. It's more about doing it for yourself. And like I said earlier, everyone starts somewhere. So I've been just lifting like small weights, um and then I need to like research more into like actual, figure out like some kind of structured plan or something like that, even if it's just like going outside and walking. That's amazing, right? It's like, do what you can, even if you walk, like, say you don't like to go outside or you're scared to go outside. Even if you go outside for like 5 minutes and walk, right? That's changing up your routine, that's changing up your inputs of what you're doing, which you're going to get a different result, right? So it's like the the inputs we put into life, right? They manifest in like, what we input is going to give us a result. So if you're getting the same thing, you kind of change what you're doing, you're going to get a different result. It's going to like alter your like your path, you know what I mean? Like, if you're doing the same thing over and over, you're stuck in a time loop. You're stuck in a stagnant reality where you're not really growing because you're doing the same thing over and over. So when you start to introduce, even if it's just 5 minutes of like going outside and walking, you're changing things up. And as you do this, you're gonna get you're gonna become more confident. And you may think, oh, that's nothing, 5 minutes, but like 5 minutes, do that, and maybe it turns into 10 minutes, and then maybe that gives you confidence to like go do something else completely different. It like kind of builds on itself. So, even if you're like, really don't like to leave your house, or you're just scared of, you have a uh fear of leaving your house, or you don't like to go outside, or you're scared of what people will think. Yeah, it's like, you just have to stop caring what other people think. That's because it is your life. It's your time to enjoy here. And if you're always worried about other people, because people are always going to think something, you're never going to get to live your life. And that's something I know firsthand because I spent so many years in isolation, and it's really like it has these effects that are that I'm still dealing with. And it's like, although let's be real, I'm getting old. I'm getting up there. Although I don't like to identify with age because that's kind of like that's a different topic. But um, yeah, I am getting up there, and like I just want to, you know, experience life, more of life, and we only have a certain amount of time here. We might as well enjoy it, even if we're uncomfortable with things at first. If we do them and we overcome the initial hurdle, we can't let fear control us. Basically, is what it boils down to. There's fear, which is an illusion in our minds that we create. It's Fear isn't actually real. It's not actually who we are. Our souls are fearless in our natural state. Once we get past all the mental programming and stuff, we're actually very bold and courageous, and we can just be ourselves and do things. And that's something I'm working on too. But I do notice that there is this, once you like tap into your true soul essence, you're like, fear is, once you can realize and train yourself that fear is an illusion. Fear is something you manufacture yourself, basically. um then you kind of like can start doing more things, and training yourself to feel comfortable, and things like that. And god, I've been I've been rambling so much. How long is this video? Jeez. Yeah, anyways, I guess I just wanted to like talk, and um because yesterday when I did go to the dentist, I just like, God, I feel awful because it's but it's like it made me think about social anxiety and stuff like that. So I started talking about it. But I did feel awful about going. But then I went, and it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. And it's never too late to do things and try new things, and just go out there if you struggle with social anxiety and stuff like that. Like, I was just, you know, we psych ourselves up like, oh, this is gonna be so bad, I don't want to go, and then you go and you do it, and it's not that bad, honestly. And you know, yeah. So that's, I guess I just want to talk about something I've struggled with, and I know other people struggle with, and I'll probably, okay, I guess I could make more videos on that specific topic because something I'm experienced in. And if you are struggling, just know that God loves you, and you know you're you're made in the image of God. You're valuable. You you are amazing. You have all these skills, but it's about going within yourself and removing the blocks that are put around you that are limiting you. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's not the hardest thing in the world either. It all starts with the first step, and then you you will actually enjoy it. Like, I think that's part of our whole purpose here, is to evolve. Like, we can always evolve and grow, and like our potential is limitless. We can do anything we want to. Um, and it all starts with like that first step, and then you're like, oh, I can slowly improve myself, and then you do more and more and more. And who knows, you might be like you're probably some amazing person who like goes on to create something that like inspires the world. Who knows, like, honestly, because God is within all of us, and we all have limitless potential with God because God is not limited. And so it's like, until you try to just be yourself and live your life, you'll never know what you can do. And, you know, it's about making the most of the time we have here because, obviously we don't live forever. And you sh- if you are struggling, I just want to encourage you to try to take the first step and to feel like it's not too late because it's never too late. Honestly, it never is. Some of the greatest people, that's like a late greatest, but you know what I mean? Like some very inspiring, amazing people were they were late bloomers in life. They they went on like you get society would call them nobodies or whatever until they 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 basically I think they transcended their limits and they came into union with they self-actualized and then like they went on to create like great things. Like there's a lot of stories of people later in life, that's when they excel and stuff like that. So, no matter what age you are or what time of life you're in, I don't think it's ever too late. And, just you have to enjoy the time you're given here because we never know when our next day is. We never know when we'll leave, and we might as well try to. You might as well try, right? Might as well try. If you try, even if you fail. Even if you fail, there's really no failing. You just try, and that's better than not trying, right? Like not trying is if you don't try, nothing will change, and it's like why wouldn't you want to try? Why wouldn't you want to love yourself? You got to learn to love yourself and try for yourself because God is cheering you on, and your inner child, your soul, they're cheering you on. They want you to be the best version of you. And I just I I think everyone's so unique, and we can all be just like constantly growing and becoming more in touch with ourselves and God and our souls. And like no matter what like point you're at, it's just all like life can be really fun and cool, and it's like a gift. So yeah, I've been talking for way too long, so I'm gonna end this video. Yeah, so like I said, I'm trying to get better at speaking and articulating ideas because I think like another label, but I think I have like ADHD or something too, where it's like my brain's just like all over the place. So I'm trying to get better at speaking and stuff like that. And so just to like make these videos, and I notice that I just kind of like through the making the videos, I get better at articulating my ideas and stuff like that. Just kind of being more social and just trying, right? I'm trying, and that's all you can do. So just remember, God loves you. I love you. You're amazing, and I'm I support you with trying to you know change your life. You can do it. Like I'm pretty much as hopeless as they come, and I'm changing my life. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. Let's be real. I'm nothing like I'm not gonna say I'm nothing special because that's not true. We're all special, but you know what I mean. Like I've been down in the dumps. I've been just at the lowest of lows, and you know I believe in the potential of everyone. Everyone can go on and do amazing things. Nothing is impossible. Okay, and I just want to encourage you to just try if you're struggling. Any little stuff is amazing, and I'm proud of you. So, all right, with that, I'm gonna shut up now because I've been talking for way too long. So I'm gonna shush, and I hope you have a great day, and God bless. All right, peace.